Also, if y'all tired of hearing us talk, it's also a lot of great acts that you can go listen to. So make sure y'all check them out 24/7.
Hey, MMA fans, I'm Aaron Weib. I'm host of the MMA Fight Picks podcast. Each week, you can sit back as I pick major MMA fights from a fanalist's point of view. I pick from the cards the UFC, Bellator, and other MMA organizations have to offer. And I talk about some of the hottest topics in MMA. You never know who's going to show up to pick the winners of the world's most anticipated MMA fights.
Family announcement. Our smart home is online.
Cool, Dad.
Yeah, smart lights, smart fridge, smart thermostat. The smart speaker plays music or answers questions. Like this. Check it out. Question: what animals besides humans have chins?
Can't find home internet. Super impressive, Dad.
Okay, hold on. Question: can you find the home internet?
Can't find home internet.
Haha, smart house!
Your home is only as smart as your internet. Get fast, reliable internet with AT&T Fiber, even during peak times. Find out how to get 300 megabits per second for $40 a month for a year. Limited availability. May not be in your area. See if you qualify at att.com/fiber300. Reliability based on network availability. Consistency based on wired connection to gateway. $10 per month equipment fee applies. Speeds not guaranteed and vary. Early termination and other charges and restrictions apply. Visit att.com/fiber300 for details.
Oh man, somebody gonna sue the Astros for sign stealing. Cole Sports presents On the Daily.
Welcome to Cole Sports. You have entered the zone called sports on another level. And now, here's your host, Cole Johnson.
Spike, as always, you do a wonderful job. Cole Johnson on the mic, on the Daily's on tap, a subsidiary of Cole Sports, and we are going to bring you the hottest sports takes as only I know how. And let's get right down to it. The topic of the day, please. So, of course, as the Astros received their harsh punishment for sign stealing in the technologically forward fashion, a lot of baseball people, fans, organizations, and players are hurt by it. Take, for example, the ace of the Yankees, Masahiro Tanaka. He said, he echoed, the same sentiments that one CC Sabathia, now formerly of the Yankees, has said out in public, that the Astros robbed the Yankees of the 2017 AL pennant. Well, it went on a little further than that. He had this to opine when he was thinking about all the sign stealing stuff. Quote, "It's difficult to say because you never know what would happen. But at the same time, you could say that what had happened might not have happened." Close quote. The managing general partner of the Yankees, Hal Steinbrenner, also said last week that he was upset as anyone when he found out the Astros sign stealing scandal was affirmed. Well, they're expressing outrage. They're expressing upset. Another pitcher by the name of Mike Bosinger is taking it a step further, and he is suing the team. Yes, you heard me correctly. The former Blue Jays reliever felt that the Astros, with their unfair advantage, practiced an unfair business practice. And so he accused the team of said unfair business practices, negligence, and intentional interference with contractual and economic relations. And Bosinger is seeking unspecified damages, but supposedly they're not all for himself. What he wants to do is he wants to force the Astros to forfeit roughly $31 million in bonuses from their ill-gotten World Series title back in 2017, and he wants to donate that money to charities in Los Angeles focused on bettering kids' lives, as well as to create a fund for retired baseball players who need financial assistance. Bolsinger went on to sing the following, quote, "There's a message to be sent to youth out there, especially athletes, more specifically baseball players. It was awesome to grow up and watch game played the right way. We've kind of drifted from that. It's something we can really express to these kids. You don't have to cheat to get to where you want to go. This kind of stuff doesn't need to happen." Close quote. Also, the kind of stuff of suing a team for this doesn't need to happen either, Bolsinger. Listen, son, you're out of Major League Baseball. It wasn't because of one team. But if you want to focus on that one team when you had an appearance in 2017, why don't we go for it? So the Astros lit you up, I think in an August appearance, for 4 runs, 4 hits, and you submitted 3 walks, and you only pitched a third of an inning. Oh, but you'll be glad to know if you were to come back, you would have to face at least 3 batters at minimum. So you'll at least get to pitch 1 inning starting 2020. I'll talk about that at another show. But the thing is, son, you have gone from team to team. I mean, I don't get this. I really don't. So you being this journeyman, pitcher, reliever, and you've been in the league from 2014 to 2017. So in the 4 years that you pitched, this one team ruined the fortunes of your future. And 1 appearance? I fail to see the relevance here, Bolsinger. Hopefully you can help me out because you commented further. Quote, "I don't know if I've had a worse outing in my professional career. I remember saying it was like they knew what I was throwing. They're laying off the pitches they weren't laying off before. It's like they knew what was coming. That was what was in my head. I felt like I didn't have a chance." Close quote. Now, yes, the Astros probably tipped their hands to their guys and they probably knew what was coming. Okay. But explain why many of the Yankees who have faced the Astros now in 2 playoff series, let's see, the Red Sox who defeated the Astros in 2018, the Nationals who beat the Astros in the World Series this past year. It was possible to beat this team. And the Astros had success against those teams, but those teams I just mentioned had success against them. So how is it that they were able to get off their stuff? You, on the other hand, you had an issue with, and with 1 team and 1 appearance, they just threw your whole professional baseball career into topsy-turvy, and it just goes completely out of the window. So from that experience, you were demoted and you haven't pitched in the intervening 2.5 years since. So please help me out here, Bolsinger. Is it because of just that one performance? Or is it because you didn't show that you had the ability to bounce back and show that you actually have stuff that's willing to stay in the major leagues. Because if memory serves me correct, the Blue Jays, they don't really have the best of pitching. And I mean, they were in the playoffs last, 2016? So, help me out, Bolsinger. Why are you trying to sue this team when they've already been punished? And I'm sure the fine that Major League Baseball gave them, that money is going to be donated to charity. So if all of this is not for you, but it's all to smack the hand of the Astros and say, now, tisk, tisk, you should never cheat. Cheaters never win. Winners never cheat. When you want to get financially broken off yourself. Come on, Bolsinger. Stop pulling the wool over our eyes, man. No, sir. I just don't believe it. I really don't believe it. I don't have it within me to think that you're doing this for a noble cause, similar to what I thought about the former Astros, now current A's pitcher Mike Fiers, however the heck he pronounces his last name, when he started to sing and whistle blow that the Astros actually did steal signs when he benefited from it and won a ring because of it. Sour grapes on his end, sour grapes on yours. Why? No, man. No, take your L, and if you have the ability to get back in the majors, do what is necessary to get back there. Otherwise, be quiet, because this reeks publicity stunt. Why do I say that? Because it is it's so in vogue for Major League Baseball and the community to go after him. CeCe Sabathia, as I mentioned earlier, Masahiro Tanaka, who I just mentioned, even Derek Jeter, who was one vote shy of a unanimous voting into the Hall of Fame. He actually said something about it. Even the great Hank Aaron has said something about it. But you wanted to take it a step further and sue the team. Oh my goodness. Okay. Understand this, Bolsinger. The Astros committed a crime. The Astros already paid for that crime. They had to forfeit a couple of draft picks. They had to forfeit a few amount of dollars in money. They actually had to suspend the general manager and the manager for a year, to which an hour later, the owner, Jim Crane, fired them. So the team has already suffered. What would it benefit you to sue them for $31 million? I'm surprised you didn't go 29, since that was the amount of pitches you pitched in your 1/3 of an inning outing against them back in 2017. Make it all even. $1 million for each pitch you threw in that game on August 4th, 2017. You know why I'm saying this in this tone? Because your suit is absolutely ridiculous. And it will be thrown out. Just like you, your suit will not have a place in the courtroom, like your arm at present seems to not have a place in Major League Baseball. And that's the topic of the day. Oh, on the other side of this break, I have to get a little bit funny. Let's go comedic with Antonio Clown right after this. You have a specific take you want to give to Cole? Well, don't be bashful. Don't be shy. Call the Cole Sports Hotline at area code 615-988-5196. That's 615-988-5196. And also, vote for your Dolt of the Month for the month of February. We will have that special episode early in the month of March. Who do you say? Who do you think VIP will be the Dolt of the Month for February 2020? 615-988-5196. Operators are standing by. Cole Johnson here. I'm enjoying this morning cup of Joe with you. Thank you for being along for the ride. And thank you, RTF Sports Network, for the love and the extra ears. I appreciate the network. I appreciate the people affiliated with it. I even appreciate the shows that are along with me for this affiliation. Now let's get to it. The carnival act known as Antonio Clown has made almost a circular route back to possibly being where he originated. Now, why do I say this? Okay. So as you knew, he tried his best to force his way out of Pittsburgh after he notched his 6th consecutive 100-catch season in 2018. But he just couldn't stand the atmosphere. He couldn't stand the locker room. And Ben Roethlisberger, to Brown, he sucked. So he forced his way out of Pittsburgh, and they traded him, the Steelers did, to the Raiders. Got there in March of last year. And 6 months later, after having frostbite on feet, after being in a cryogenic chamber and not having the proper equipment on, filing a lawsuit against the NFL for helmet usage twice, and just making life miserable for the head coach, John Gruden, and the owner, Mark Davis. I'll just bypass the general manager, Mike Mayock. They released him. The Patriots, knowing they need all the help they could get at wide receiver, scooped him up the next day. And they thought things were all good and sugar was sweet, because Brown ended up having a touchdown in his first ... and only game for the Patriots, because they caught wind of Brown having a sexual harassment lawsuit, a civil one. Well, as soon as Robert Kraft saw that, he said, okay, pink slip, buddy, you're out of here. Of course, Clown didn't like that, and Clown clapped back at the owner, talking about him and his unscrupulous ways with the massage parlor down in Florida. Oh boy. So, to his credit, that sexual harassment suit got dropped, but the idiocy continued as he filmed himself in an argument with Hollywood, Florida police over the removal of his baby mama. And he ended up throwing candies in formation of penises toward her. Then he got arrested. He was put under suicide watch. And now, after being out of prison, out of jail, and after even his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, saying, when you get your act together, I'll be with you. Until then, you are without an agent. It looks like he's trying to get his act together because Brown Clown performed an apology, and I do mean performed, toward his original team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he had an interview with 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. And Clown talked about the distractions that he was about when he was on the team. Okay, I'll let him say it, since he was a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers for 9 years. Quote, I apologize to those guys for the distractions, the unwanted attention that I probably caused these guys to the organization. Obviously, you want to clear out any baggage or any disrespect or unintended attention that was brought on to the organization. These guys gave me an opportunity when I was 21 years old. I'm forever grateful to these guys to have the opportunity to not only play with those guys, but to be in so many amazing moments. We've been through so much. I'm forever grateful and indebted to this organization. Mr. Rooney, Mike Tomlin, Kevin Colbert, Ben Roethlisberger. I started my career with those guys. A lot of beautiful moments, a lot of positive things. So it's not all bad. I just think from an emotional standpoint, when things got bad, they just seemed bad. But we had a lot more good moments than bad. Close quote. You're starting to get it, son. And I mean on both ends of the ledger. If I were to be taking you at face value, I'd say, okay, well, he's trying to smooth his way back to Pittsburgh. He wants to be a Steeler again. And he wants to play in the NFL again. He wants to make things right. And even if he doesn't get on with the Steelers, he's making an attempt to make things right. That's at face value. If I were to take it at you're desperate angle and the cynicism, I'd say, yeah, this guy wants to be in the league so bad he's apologizing to his old team. That's all just to get on the team or to get on any of the other 31 teams. Because once he gets a chance to slap on the helmet, put on the pads and have the uniform worn, he's going to slip back into doing something so crazy and ridiculous, like getting frostbite on his foot again, like throwing penis gummies at his baby mama with his children nearby, or complaining that after 5 receptions for 80 yards, he tosses the Gatorade bottle because he's not getting, or tub, because he's not getting enough targets. Foregoing the fact that he has a pretty good wide receiver on the other side in Juju Smith-Schuster, and the team that you were facing, because I believe it was the Ravens, doubled you and said that you weren't going to beat them. But that didn't matter because you didn't get your touches. You see, all of that can happen if the heat is right. And that's what I feel. I mean, you're 31. I think you're starting to understand that the identity that you've had is starting to peel off a bit. Now, I can say that you've had a wonderful career thus far. I mean, 6 straight seasons, 100 receptions. You're knocking on the doorstep to many things, and you were knocking on the doorstep to being like the fastest to 10,000 yards receiving, and you were on the road to getting 1,000 receptions. I mean, you were on your way and road to doing some humongous things, and you were shattering wide receiver records for the Steelers. Life was there, man. And Steeler Nation doesn't strike me as the type that you would want to repel yourself from. So, I mean, everything was just right there for you, yet you just simply perceived where you were as bad. And Brown went on further on that interview. Quote, at the time, what was important for me, winning a Super Bowl with the team and guys and what we wanted to do, I just think we had a lot of things that was important to individuals, but it wasn't important to do the big thing, which was win the Super Bowl. I'm at that point in my career where I'm getting older, and the things that are important is winning. Close quote. Okay, well, see, all that sounds wonderful. I'm glad that you're all about the winning. But you also have to be all about not being a drama queen, king, fool, pauper, clown. You got to stop being those things. Diva. And no, diva's not just for a woman. You got to stop acting as though the world revolves around you, Antonio. That is your problem and issue right there. The whole world has to surround itself with you. It has to revolve around you. Tomlin has to revolve around you. Roethlisberger has to revolve around you. Smith-Schuster has to revolve around you. If what you say is correct, that winning is the most important thing to you, you know what winners do the best? Take the lesson from the late Kobe Bryant. Winners have to be disciplined. And you may have the regimen to get into football shape. You may know how to run cones and agility drills and run probably even at 31, run a 40 in 4.5 or even 4.4. I'm sure you can wow all of us with your athletic feats and marvels. But the discipline I'm talking about with you has nothing to do with your skills on the field. It has everything to do with what is in your head, what's between those ears. Can you mentally shut all of that drama queen, king, pauper, fool stuff up? And can you focus and be a team player? Can you be happy and not get 100 receptions in the year? Can you be happy if you sometimes are targeted only 2 or 3 times in the game because coverage is just rolling in your direction and someone else is cooking? See, those are the questions you have to ask yourself, Mr. Brown, before you set foot back onto an NFL field. Because the sample size that we have seen the last 4 years, 3 words come to mind. And these are 3 words you have to stop. Because when it comes to football, when it comes to life, you are, sir, out for self. Stop that, and you'll be back on an NFL sideline. When I come back, we're going to touch a little bit on the UFC event that took place down in Houston this past weekend. This is Cole Sports, the classiest sports show on the planet, and its daily offshoot on the Daily. to speak to Cole, then say it with your chest. Go to speakpipe.com/Cole Sports with a Z and record, speak, send. Repeat, record, speak, send. It is that simple, cut and dried, and easy. Speakpipe.com/Cole Sports with a Z. Record, speak, send. You've reached the bottom of the hour, and I am Cole Johnson. So glad that you are joining me. Cole Sports presents on the Daily. This is the show that always gets your morning right. And I'm happy to be that man getting that morning right along with you. Let me drink this cup of coffee real quick. Now, at the top of the hour, we talked about the Astros getting besieged right and left with one pitcher actually going the route of suing them. And a few minutes ago, we just talked about Antonio Brown apologizing to the Steelers. Something that I think he should have done years ago. But we're going to turn our attention to the UFC, and most importantly, UFC event number 247. So that took place in Houston. Toyota Center, stand up. My former hometown hosted the UFC event this past weekend, and there were 3 bouts that I think viewers were looking forward to and were vastly disappointed by because of the judges. The Andre Ewell versus Jonathan Martinez bout, the Andrea Lee versus Lauren Murphy bout, and then, of course, the main event, John Bones Jones versus Dominic Reyes. Now, earlier this week, the Texas Department of Licensure and Regulation issued a statement to MMA Junkie in response to the backlash of the customers who watched UFC 247. Quote, as in all athletic events, athletes, teams, judges, fans, and media representatives can and often do have differing opinions about what happened in a combative sports match. TDLR applauds the passion everyone is exhibiting about this sport. Comments have been made about the selection of the judges and referees. In selecting ringside officials, TDLR takes into consideration recommendations made by UFC. As with all events, TDLR works closely with UFC and other promoters to ensure the quality and experience of referees and judges to protect the health and safety of the fighters. Close quote. The biggest person to complain about this, obviously, was the commentator. You know him. It's Joe Rogan. And so he, in the broadcast, ripped into the judging all throughout the telecast. At one point, he actually called it, quote, criminal, close quote. He also thought they had a bit of insanity to them, especially in the main event when Judge Joe Solis scored the main event 49-46 in favor of Jones. Now, the preliminary bout between Murphy and Lee, Rogan thought, and he surmised and he opined, that one of the judges was looking at the floor instead of the fight, which also fueled the criticism he had which also fueled the criticism from fellow commentator Dominic Cruz. Now, TDLR, they tried to clarify all of this during a sequence that Rogan mentioned. Quote, claims have been made that a judge was not paying attention to the fight and he was looking down at the floor. One of the advances that UFC has made in the past several years has been to provide small video monitors below the floor level of the octagon for each judge to more closely monitor matches. Close quote. That's quite interesting. Okay, what's even more interesting is this. This is why people don't like combative sports in the first place. It's not necessarily because it's barbaric. Look, time immemorial, I can tell you that you have a bloodlust society. There's things about this society which loves to see one guy, or now in this case, one girl, beat up another girl, one guy beat up another guy. There is a beauty to it. No question about that. Only reason why I said it is I'm the son of a Navy boxer. So, and my father taught me the sweet science, and I was able to appreciate it more because of it. But the reason why people were starting to veer away from boxing was because of this type of controversy. I mean, I heard people right and left say, man, I can't stand boxing because the sport's crooked. The sport's crooked. The fights are just about predetermined. They have their favorites and you know it almost before round one. Okay, so why do you like MMA or UFC? As I would always ask after that. And the answer is always the same. Well, the action is great. And it's judged fairly. There's no controversy with the judges. And now we have an event, a pay-per-view, and on the heels of it, not only is there controversy with the judges, but the controversy came through in the pay-per-view. People in the pay-per-view commented that this is criminal and insane and the fix might be in. Now, if you were to ask me which of the two sports I'd rather more, MMA or boxing, I would say boxing. But I get how sweet the MMA can be. But you introduce this element, that there is a scintilla of doubt even with the judges you select, and about that goes the distance. And for those who don't know how MMA works, or at least the UFC portion of MMA, each round is 5 minutes. They have five rounds. So if it goes a distance, it's of course 25 minutes of fighting. And I think they have a 1 minute break in between rounds. This takes away from the action. This takes away from the excitement. Because quite frankly, this takes away from the sport being an event, a spectacle. And it becomes the circus that people have labeled boxing to be. Dana, and I'll even include boxing commissions here too. I believe it is time that you all get together. You for your league, Dana, and the WBO and the WBA and the IBF and the WBC for boxing. you need to get together rules as to how judges need to govern a boxing match / octagon fight. You need to have these set of rules. You need to have it be sanctioned by your body so that we won't have these types of confusions. These types of confusing or angering results. What is so difficult in regulating how these boxing matches or octagon fights are judged? To me, it's not difficult at all. If you know what you're looking for in these bouts, then it would stand to reason that you would have people who would be willing, able, and quite frankly, proficient enough to give you the ruling necessary. Now, I'm not saying that you have to all agree. I'm not saying that all judges you have to have the same uniform score if a fight goes a distance. I'm not saying that at all. What I am alluding to is you got to have judges who are alert, judges who are looking at the bout or the fight, and judges who know what it is that constitutes points. That it isn't about if someone has more charisma or someone has more name recognition. It's about the skill between the two fighters in the ring. This is something that I think MMA fan does not want. And I can tell you from experience, boxing fan has been hating this for decades. Now, your sport's big enough, MMA, where you're about to get that too. And when I return, we're going to, of course, introduce our wonderful segment, the segment that people talk about endlessly. That name that I don't mention until after the break is next. Enjoying your cup of coffee this morning? Well, enjoy your drive to work or to your workout. Join my man, Brian Snow of Snowman in the Morning. After this show on the RTL Sports Network, you'll be listening to him break down sports as only he knows how to do it. Snowman in the Morning, weekdays at 9 a.m. every weekday. And of course, just me, weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern. I'm always here for you on the RTF Sports Network. Coming up on tomorrow's episode of On the Daily, we're going to discuss something we need to put a pause on. I'll just mention this. Mark Gastineau. That will be coming up tomorrow. And we're going to, of course, lead into some before the All-Star Weekend material as well. That's for tomorrow's show. Today, we haven't talked about him for a while, and I actually have to give him mad credit. He has really done well to galvanize the city of Los Angeles as they have suffered the loss of one of its most iconic sports figures that city has ever known. And quite frankly, I don't think they have ever known any sports icon in Los Angeles be affiliated with that city for as long as Kobe Bryant was. But as the leader of the Lakers, He has done a wonderful job, and I have to give him props. Now, on this show, I am unbiased when it comes to this gentleman, because I think he deserves his props, and he also deserves his criticism. That is why this segment is available for you as well as for me, because we only talk about him here and in raw, unfiltered terms. Bronzexuals, here we go. In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions. Well, let's start with some good news. LeBron, of course, is going to be one of the 44 remaining who could possibly be on the 2020 Olympics team. But see, that's in about 5 to 6 months from now. We don't have to concern ourselves with that. Oh, and he also got to the top 5 with most free throws made. Honored and honor and honor and honor. Wow. And I think we lightly touched on it, but he also now is third. He is the third most prolific scorer in NBA history. So let's get the platitudes out the way. There we go. In the days and weeks after Kobe died, LeBron was real. He was somber, and he spoke from the heart. And he talked about how much he meant to him personally as a competitor. And then, of course, now as a friend, or I should say, once he joined the Lakers as a friend. And he, of course, related to him as a father because, well, he's a fellow father himself. He expressed the pain that the Lakers had, the organization and the fans have had about Kobe Bryant. And I think he also expressed the hurt that all of us have had about him. So I give him props for that. I have to. He mentioned that every game is going to be emotional now because he's going to be thinking about Kobe. Probably every time he puts on the Lakers uniform and steps on the Staples Center and he does his thing. And last week he had a game against the Lakers had a game against the Rockets. They lost it 121-115. But in the midst of that game, there was a steal, a breakaway. James had the ball and he performed on the same goal, a double clutch reverse jam that Kobe did against the Kings 19 years earlier. Both came in the same place, both came on the same goal. And of course, Lakers social media had a field day with it, and they put the two images together. Lakers center JaVale McGee said it about those moments. Quote, "It was pretty dope. It was extremely accurate and darn near identical. That was pretty cool. That's really some legendary stuff right there." Close quote. Now, LeBron, to his credit, he said this about that dunk in that moment. Quote, "I didn't really predetermine that either until I jumped. I just jumped and kind of figured it out. And then it's crazy how it's the same exact dunk, the same exact hoop that Kobe did it on. What, 19 years ago or something like that? That was nice. Close quote. What was also nice was seeing him attempt a game-winning shot, actually, hours before we decided to go on air, and he missed it. And you have many people who would argue him up and down. Many people would say, well, LeBron doesn't take the last shot. LeBron is scared of taking the last shot. LeBron doesn't want to take the last shot. Well, game was tied, 111 apiece. They were playing Denver. They were in Denver, playing the Nuggets. LeBron was at the top of the key. I'm sorry, actually at midcourt, directing traffic to get to the top of the key, asked for a pick so they could switch defensive guys, got the switch, dribbled to his left, shot I would say, 18-footer, clanked off the rim. So for those who say that he doesn't want to take the last shot, he tried it. He bricked it. Now, for those others, that's not really his game. I mean, it's not. It really is not his game. He normally is better at facilitating in that moment. And that's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. That's just a LeBron thing. You have players who were better in that moment. Jordan and Kobe are two of the prime examples of them being better at that moment. They were better at taking that last shot. Now, did each guy miss their fair share of those last shots? You bet. I mean, Kobe rose to prominence because in his rookie season, he shot 3 air balls in a playoff game. So it's not about missing them. It's about having the courage to take them. And Kobe had the courage to take them. Jordan had the courage to take them. And there's others who had the courage to take them. LeBron, early in his career, he did not. He does now. The problem, though, is his game isn't well-rounded enough to where he consistently can make those shots. Even in regulation, I don't mean before the horn sounds, I mean just in the flow of games. He doesn't always hit basically the 17, 18, 19 footer that's at the side of the elbow. He doesn't hit it all the time. He's a streaky shooter. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. And this is where you have to be honest. You have to be honest. F. Brown Bonders, you have to be honest. Brown sexuals, you have to be honest. When we see things like this, it doesn't make him to be the greatest that you've ever seen. But there's many other aspects about him that would make me say that. Shooting is not it. Shooting has never been it. Shooting will never be it. And so, yeah, he may have over 33,000 points in his career. And I'm sure he's going to attempt his way to eclipse 40,000 possibly. I know that part of his eye is focused on being the number 1 most prolific scorer in NBA history. He wants to be past Malone, wants to be past Kareem, because that would be a feather in his cap. Thing is, the thing that for some reason he has not learned even in his 18th year is he has to play within his game. And I mean, there's times where he does and there's times he doesn't. Even now, in the twilight of his career, as great of a basketball IQ as he has, there's so many aspects to his game that still is streaky. And to me, ladies and gentlemen, his shooting is streaky. Do with that what you will. But no, that is fact, because that's what your eyes are seeing, just like mine. In a world where contradiction and hypocrisy exist, lies the truth to set us all free. Here is where we all get enlightened. This has been yet another installment of The Bronzexual Confessions. If you happen to like this episode or any episode you've heard thus far, open.acast.com or shows.acast.com/on the daily, you got it. And you can go onto most major podcast directories, including Apple Podcasts, and you can download this on the daily. It's waiting for you. Come on down. And it doesn't matter where you listen to me, how you listen to me, or when you do. I just want you to do these 3 simple things. Love yourself with your own heart and love your neighbor as yourself. Tell a friend to tell a friend about this particular program and enjoy the content. For the Intelligent Sportsman, I am Cole Johnson, and this has been yet another installment of Cole Sports for your audio pleasure and on the daily.
You've been listening to Cole Sports with Cole Johnson.
Okay, family announcement. Our smart home is online.
cool, Dad.
Yeah, smart lights, smart fridge, smart thermostat. The smart speaker plays music or answers questions. Like this. Check it out. Question. What animals besides humans have chins?
Can't find home internet. Super impressive, Dad.
Okay, hold on. Question. Can you find the home internet?
Can't find home internet.
Ha! Smart house!
Your home is only as smart as your internet. Get fast, reliable internet with AT&T Fiber, even during peak times. Find out how to get 300 megabits per second for $40 a month for a year. Limited availability. May not be in your area. See if you qualify at att.com/fiber300. Reliability based on network availability. Consistency based on wired connection to gateway. $10 per month equipment fee applies. Speeds not guaranteed and vary. Early termination and other charges and restrictions apply. Visit att.com/fiber300 for details.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Time to rise and grind.
Are you kidding me? Holy on smoke!
And let's get this banter going.
It's bacon!
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Does anybody else feel like a fried egg?
And it begins now.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell,
I think I just broke my chair. He did what?
Has anybody ever told you you have a
Serious impulse control problem?
There is but one course for me to follow. Almighty the bum!
And here we go.
Oh, yeah!
I'm back home, and good morning, everybody. And welcome to the fantastic Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Got a lot to get to, but I want you to follow us online by going to snowmandigitalmedia.com. Look up all of our socials there. The ID you need is SNW Digital Media for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Pinterest. Like I said, I got a lot to get to this morning. The NBA All-Star break is here. I have a little question about the rules. Get to that in a moment. Scoop Miller will join me to talk all things Maction and all things Big Ten in terms of college hoops. I'll give you a few reasons why you shouldn't sleep on the White Sox. William Morgan will join me to talk about the NBA All-Star Game. Mike Debate will help me put a bow on the 2019, NFL season and get you ready for 2020. Ricky Keeler joins me to talk all things baseball. And my very special guest, Kelsey Nicole Nelson, will join the show for the first time in 2 years. Let's talk NBA All-Star Game, shall we? Now, before I launch into what I'm going to talk about, I know that the NBA is doing a wonderful thing in honoring the memory of one Kobe Bryant. Okay? But there's a new format that they have put together in honoring Kobe Bryant. SBNation.com wrote this. The NBA is changing its format of the 2020 All-Star Game to spice up the competitiveness of the event and honor Kobe Bryant. After years of criticism over the game's fading audience, the leagues made numerous new rules. Here's what's new. The first 3 quarters of the 2020 All-Star Game will have the score reset after each 12-minute period. Team LeBron and Team Giannis will compete to win each frame at a score of 0-0. The winner of each quarter will earn $100,000 for their charity, with ties resulting in the money being added to the following quarter. The score resets after each quarter, but the cumulative total still matters. I pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. In the fourth quarter, the team's scores from the first 3 quarters will be added up, and the final score a team needs to reach to win the game will be determined by adding 24 points, Bryant's jersey number, to the highest scores total. There will be no game clock in the final frame. The first team to hit that point total wins. If that was a lot and hard for you to understand, it's because the new format is confusing as hell. Again, this is on SBNation.com, so let's go a step further. They provide this example. Let's start with the beginning of the game. If Team LeBron scores 30 and Team Giannis scores 25 in the first quarter, Team LeBron's charity of choice wins $100,000. In quarter two, the score resets to 0-0, so Team Giannis could outscore Team LeBron by the same score, 30-25, and they win $100,000 for their charity. In quarter three, the same thing happens. Let's say Team LeBron outscores Team Giannis 30-25 again. Team LeBron wins $100,000 for charity once again. In the fourth quarter, the score from the first three quarters will be added up. In this case, Team LeBron is leading Team Giannis 85-80. Instead of a 12-minute game clock, the teams will play to a score. In this case, we take 85 points as leading score and add 24 points to honor Bryant. So the first team to 109 points wins the game. I must have looked at this 100 times. I must have read this 100 times. I still don't understand how the hell this is going to bring competitiveness back to the game. So you're putting $100,000 on the line each quarter for the team's favorite charity. You know, that part I actually like. I actually like that part. But you're going to reset the score to 0-0 for the second and the third quarters. But you keep a running score at the table for the fourth quarter, up until the... I don't get this at all. I don't get this at all. So you're going to reset the score after every quarter. I don't get it. I just have one question and one question only.
I demand to know who wrote this script.
Because I sure as hell didn't write it. You want to honor Kobe Bryant? How about playing as hard as you can on both ends of the floor? You want to honor Kobe Bryant? How about your honorary captains, one wears 2, the other wears 24? You want to honor Kobe Bryant and bring the fans back to the game? How about some competition? Everybody wants to say, oh, it wasn't fair because the West was so stacked. Well, if fans of the East are complaining that the West is so stacked, why don't you beat them? Why don't you play hard? Why don't you just play basketball? I understand that the fans have waned off of this game. I'm going to have Michael Lyle on Friday, and we're going to talk about this very subject. Can someone please explain to me how the hell this is going to work? Can someone please explain to me how this brings competition back to a game where competition has faded by not circumventing the rules? Because that's what you did. You completely circumvented the rules. You completely revamped a format that for a while worked because the players actually loved playing against each other. I thought that was the whole idea of the All-Star game anyway. Not just the dunks, not just the three-pointers, not just the fancy assists, but you play hard. That you actually play basketball. That you actually have the coaches coach and the players play. Am I missing something here? Again, I pose the question.
I demand to know who wrote this script. I'd like to tell him, but modesty forbids.
That's probably what Adam Silver is saying. That is probably what Adam Silver is saying. I'd like to tell him, but modesty forbids. So modesty also forbids actually playing a game where the teams were identified as East and West. You know, this team captain stuff is getting on my nerve. It's getting on my nerve. These new rules I know are going to drive me batty. These All-Star Game rules are going to drive me absolutely batty. I just don't get it. I don't understand why they are going to... Okay, let me say this. They're going to honor Kobe Bryant. Yes. Absolutely yes. Okay? I get that. And I'm not dismissing it. And I'm glad they are going to honor Kobe Bryant. But you're going to do it like this? You're going to do it completely blowing up the rules? You're going to do it completely and unequivocally, for lack of a better term, messing up the game, messing up the integrity of the game by these rules? Really? Really? You're going to do something like that to honor Kobe Bryant when he was known as the Black Mamba, when his work ethic was celebrated, when his work ethic was that of legend, and this is how you honor Kobe? In an All-Star game? This is how you honor him? Really? This is how you actually plan to honor him. No, not by playing hard, not by actually playing defense, which is where Kobe Bryant excelled, not by putting in the work with your all-star teammates, not by saying, hey, let's go out there and have a competitive game. Let's go out there and not only have fun, but play hard and have a great game. No, none of that. These are the rules you come up with? I have no words. I am really stunned into silence that they're going to do this. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. That's Snowman's take. What's yours? I won't get it. I just don't understand it. I just will not understand it at all. Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
He did what?
I did not need to be told that.
Welcome back to the program. You heard my thoughts on the rules of the All-Star Game as we continue to get you going here on this episode. Let me welcome back to the program the playmaker, Darnell Solins. He joins me right now. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, Snowman?
Okay, I've got to pose this question, and I got to pose it now. Who the hell made up the rules to the scoring of this All-Star Game?
I don't know. To be honest. I don't know. I talked about it on the podcast.
You did, and I loved it. Who made this up?
I don't know.
What happened to, if you want to honor Kobe, and I said this on an earlier broadcast, if you want to honor Kobe, play some defense, will you please? In the All-Star Game?
We're gonna see some defense. I can guarantee you that we're gonna see some defense.
But why?
That's when that fourth quarter hit.
Yeah, I know. When you have to play to a score, who wrote this script?
Look, you're gonna do your Daffy Duck, your Daffy Duck version on that one. I don't know. I got it.
Like he said, I demand to know who wrote this script. Because I sure as hell didn't.
To be honest, when I did the podcast yesterday, that's the first time I actually read the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, I know it sounds confusing as hell, but that's what they wanted to do.
What happened to just playing as hard as you can on both ends of the floor to honor Kobe? What happened to just that? Do you have to reset? Do you have to reset the score every quarter?
It's for charity, so I ain't gonna dive into.
I understand that. I understand that. You can still have money for charity at the end of each quarter, but just keep the damn score.
It is what it is. I did my scoring.
Now move on because we can sit here for about an hour and we'll still never figure it out. All right.
Nobody's going to figure it out.
Hell no. No one's going to figure it out. Okay, let me ask you this. Joel Embiid to Miami. Will it happen or won't it happen?
Ooh.
After the Instagram post that came out where Jimmy Butler said, I know a place where villains are welcome. Will it happen?
I don't see it happen. I don't see Elton Brand getting rid of one of the two stars that he drafted. I don't see it. So you literally tank on purpose to get Joel Embiid.
Yep.
If Joel Embiid doesn't play a significant amount of years in Philly, the process was a failure.
The process is a failure now.
It is now, but it's still be. See, what I'm saying is, it's a failure now, but it still could be continued. I mean, you can still rewrite it.
How?
Philadelphia.
How the hell can you
rewrite? Let him go,
how the hell can you rewrite it when you don't have a point guard and Ben Simmons don't count.
That's for some reason. Because, to be honest, the way Philly has been playing, they might have to put Elton Brand in a bad position because when Joel Embiid goes to the bench, or he doesn't play, Ben Simmons is a whole new player.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, when Joel Embiid playing, Ben Simmons don't want to be Ben Simmons.
What the hell is Ben Simmons anyway? I don't understand.
He want to be Magic Johnson that can't shoot.
But at least Magic Johnson developed a jump shot.
Like I said, he want to be Magic Johnson who doesn't want to shoot. We talked about this last time.
Yeah, we did.
10 foot, 15 foot, it don't matter. If you get it,
we did talk about this last time. And I loved your blog, by the way. I loved your podcast, by the way. Let me just put that out there. I loved your podcast, by the way, because this is why I wanted you on the program. You and I think too much alike. Ben Simmons wants to be Magic Johnson, but Magic Johnson had a jump shot.
See, because the thing is, even though it's on a much lesser scale than professional, I was a big man for most of my younger days playing basketball, and then when I got to high school, I became a guard.
Right. So it's a different, it's a different thing playing guard, and Ben Simmons is listed as a guard. I really don't know why. Why is he listed as a guard?
That's what he always played. He played that when he was overseas.
Didn't he? Talking with the playmaker here. NBA All-Star Game on tap this weekend. I want to bring another thing up. We spoke of Ben Simmons last time, and we just talked about the fact that you and I believe that the process in Philadelphia is a colossal failure. Why don't other people believe it? I mean, don't the playoff results kind of put that out there already?
Because you still have a talented Philadelphia team. And you want to see, because there's still time left in the season, and you still got to play, you want to see if they can pull it together. Problem is, Toronto, without Kawhi Leonard, is on the tear, even though they lost. Even though they lost to Brooklyn. That's understandable. When you win 15 in a row, you got to lose somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but I still think Toronto's the team to beat in the East. I'm not sold on Milwaukee. I'm definitely not sold on Philadelphia. My East finals go Toronto and Boston. I don't trust Milwaukee.
I trust Milwaukee because Giannis is on the next. When Steven A. Smith did his interview with Michael Brogdon before they played the Bucks without Giannis, that's perfectly fine, understandable.
Mm-hmm.
He revealed that Giannis had a look in his eye, and he knew when the next season comes, everybody better watch out because Giannis is trying to destroy people. That's why Giannis is playing the way he is playing. He is trying to destroy people.
Yeah. Yeah, Giannis actually has a jump shot now. Take a lesson, LeBron James. Oh, did I say that aloud?
By the way, shout out to those guys. They did not take a break before All-Star break. That game against Denver was amazing.
And Denver should have won it. I'm sorry. Denver should have won that game. But, yeah, I'll give him a shout for winning that game in overtime, 120-116. I listened to the tail end of it before I finally drifted off to sleep. But do you still like them coming out of the West? I don't.
No. Unless LeBron and AD want to show me they can beat the Clippers, no.
Unless LeBron shows me he actually wants to compete, I can't buy it. I just can't. I can't buy LeBron and the Lakers getting out of the second round of the Western Conference. If they get as far as the Western Conference Finals, they're going to get blown to bits. And the biggest reason they do not have a, wait for it, point guard.
When you say that, I gotta look at Rajon Rondo.
Really?
Like, dude, you know, at one point in time, you was one of the best point guards in the league.
Yeah, you just mentioned the most important words in your sentence. At one point in time. At one point in time, he was the best point guard in the league, and then Derrick Rose showed up and crossed him over and broke his ankles. But I digress.
I won't say that. I don't know.
Okay, then Stephen Curry showed
his
up.
Attitude don't tone down, and then his game toned down with it.
Then Stephen Curry showed up and broke his ankles and broke his spirit. Can I say that? But what has happened to Rajon Rondo, and why are the Lakers still depending on him?
Don't got nobody else. Darren Collison ain't coming out of retirement.
Zach Collison. Here's a funny story for you.
I don't know what he saw.
Darren Collison. I said Zach Collison. Darren Collison received an offer from the Lakers and from the Clippers, and said, "Nah, I'm good," and he stayed retired.
What did he see?
You know something? I think he saw a lot. I think he saw that the state of the Lakers was not good.
What about the Clippers?
What about the Clippers?
The Clippers wanted him too. Why he said no to the Clippers?
He looked at the city of Los Angeles and said, "I'm good." Those are my thoughts. But we don't know why he said no to the Clippers. I have a theory. I think he said no to the Clippers because of Doc Rivers.
That turns out to be true. That's
yeah. And I'll ask you a question I asked you last time I had you on, which is right at the trade deadline. Why the hell did the Detroit Pistons get rid of Andre Drummond?
So for those of you who haven't heard my podcast, I still don't know to this day why. You look at both rosters, there's no reason why.
None.
You look at the coaches, there's no reason why.
None.
You look at the cities, there's no reason why.
None.
Look at the salary cap, there's no reason why.
None. I still don't know why. I still don't know why they pulled the trigger on that. I still don't know.
I will say this though, since we brought it to trade deadline. So far, Houston and Mike D'Antoni, you doing good with small ball system. So far, I'm not gonna state that what I said because I'm waiting for the playoffs to see how this goes. So far, you're doing good, 5-2 with the small ball. Doing good so far.
Do you really trust that? I mean, it's February. Do you really trust that come May? I sure as hell don't.
Let me see. Hell no.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that for those of the folks that are in the cheap seats in the Palace of Auburn Hills?
I'm glad you. Hell no to them. Hell no to Houston. Hell no, man. I'm so from college, man. Hell no to the Michigan Wolverines. I don't know what happened to them. Some conference play happened either.
I'll tell you what happened. One of my home teams beat them earlier this season. That's the Fighting Illini of Illinois. And they had no reason losing to Illinois.
You know, I'm gonna say the college talk. I'll come on the show next week.
Okay, we'll do that one next week.
Because I'm doing the college basketball show next week, and y'all gonna stay tuned because I'm getting on a lot of stuff.
I may have to join you for that.
You know, he's doing good. It's going good so far for Houston so far.
So you really?
But will it continue? That's the question.
No. May I repeat your answer? Hell no. If it hasn't happened for Houston already, when they had their best coach since Rudy Tomjanovich, and I'm talking about Kevin McHale, why the hell would you trust Mike D'Antoni now?
I would. But it was interesting to find out that Steve Nash had a talk with James Harden, so I don't know what was said.
I'll tell you exactly what was said. Steve Nash said, ha, 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 ha. I'll tell you exactly what he said. Am I right about what he said?
Steve Nash,
no.
Steve Nash, he was the orchestra of that small ball offense and down in Phoenix.
But Steve Nash is an actual point guard. There's your difference.
Which is another thing. I don't know why he thought of James like he said thought of Russell Westbrook. That's just me.
I don't trust either one of them. And I made a promise to you that when I'd have you on, I would close with a rumor I think that's going to be a reality. And the player that I gave you was Karl Anthony Towns. I think Karl Anthony Towns will end up in the Bay.
When that off-season hits, because the funny thing, I won't be covering up the off-season. I have somebody gonna do that for me. I'll be paying attention.
If it happens,
I'll still come on Snowman in the morning and give my thoughts.
You know, if it happens, I'm getting you. I'm getting you, right? They already got Andrew Wiggins. They got Andrew Wiggins for a song and D'Angelo Russell. They got a lot of cap space. They have draft capital. The best fit for Karl Anthony Towns is in the Bay.
Listen. I said this on the podcast. I want y'all to believe me when I say this. The worst record in the NBA is the Golden State Warriors. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't understand how dangerous that is.
Yep.
I imagine the Golden State Warriors with a top 5 pick in the draft, knowing Klay Thompson and Steph Curry coming back.
Yep.
Y'all think the Western in trouble this year with the Clippers? Wait till the Golden State Warriors come back healthy next year.
Yeah. Thank you. Can you repeat that, please? I've been saying it all season. Can you repeat that for me, please? I love that.
We know right now that the trouble in the West is the LA Clippers.
Yeah.
But the years to come,
it's going to be
Golden State Warriors going to be a problem.
It's going to be
They're going to have a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. This team went from 5 straight NBA finals to having one of the worst seasons they had in a long time, and they're going to get a top 5 pick in the draft and not going to lose nobody?
Nope. They signed everybody last year. There's the point. They signed everybody.
Why you think nobody out in San Francisco is panicking?
I'm not panicking. I've covered the Warriors for 2 years. I've covered the Warriors since 2013. I'm fine. Okay? I'm good. When they come back, they're going to three-peat. I'm putting it out there.
Look, I'm like, the Golden State Warriors going to have a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. That's like the most dangerous thing ever.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be fun. But it's going to scare everybody else in the West, especially the Clippers, especially LeBron. And I'll go there another time. That's the playmaker, Darnell Solins, joining me to talk some hoops. And I put this rumor out there, and I'm going to continue to put it out there. The Golden State Warriors will be back next year. Just you watch. The dynasty ain't over. The dynasty is not over. Man, thanks for coming on. I truly appreciate it, my friend.
No problem. Hey, I'm taking Team LeBron to win the All-Star game. LeBron James winning MVP. I had Damian Lillard, but he got injured, so I had to get somebody else.
I'll take Team Giannis, and I'll say Giannis wins the MVP. Just to be on the opposite side of you. We'll talk the results next week. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, no problem.
Rob Parker said something that I can't even say to an extent, but Rob Parker said something that just royally pissed me off. My response is next.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
I like him. He's silly.
Okay. I talked about this on Friday with my buddy Michael Lyle and one of my good friends, Darnell Solins. Who the hell came up with these rules for this year's All-Star game?
The thing that kills me, they're doing it to me. They're doing it to try to increase viewership. But the thing about it, the names are so big, you're gonna get views from it regardless.
Mm-hmm. Why can't it be East and West again?
Right.
Can we just go back to East and West?
I'm there with you. I'm there with you. Particularly with the way Giannis picks. He's picking his best friends.
Yes. This is why I don't like the captains. This is exactly why I don't like the captains. Because remember, the first year it was LeBron and Steph. And to be perfectly honest, Steph got screwed out of a couple of great players to be on his team.
He did.
Steph got screwed, okay?
He did.
So why can't it be just East and West? I guess the East got tired of getting beat up by the West. Like, if you want to be the team, beat the team. Exactly. Why don't people get this concept?
Exactly. And to be fair, Giannis probably been thinking the same way you were thinking because most of that team is from the Eastern Conference.
Yes. So it should be East and West anyway. They just need to call it East and West and be done. This year's All-Star Game is in Chicago, my hometown. It's in the United Center. Last time it was in Chicago, it graced old Chicago Stadium. That, of course, was 1988.